You know, I was in Bangsa Shopping Centre yesterday. Mercedes, I don't know why they sponsored a charging station.
Yeah.
Every single car there is a BMW.
Mercedes came out with three sponsored parking lots.
Yeah.
They came out with it in 2017, I think.
Yeah.
Just this year, BMW came out with 6. Double your length.
Cock measurement
contest.
And now it's raining. Autophiles, BMW X3 330i xDrive.
Actually, the way you say
you and your stupid names, yes, come, I
makes sense. BMW X3 xDrive30i. Actually, the previous generation was a bit nobody bought it. My neighbor has one, and I'm like, whoa, there's a car I've never seen on the road. So it's basically the latest model X3, highly tuned, inline 4. Quite a lot of competitors, isn't it? So on the European side, you have XC60, GLC, Q5. Quite a competitive market. The funny thing is, the previous model didn't sell, isn't it? Yeah.
Why?
You had the 3 Series, the F30, which genuinely looked good, and then you had the X5, which was the first time the X5
outsold everything.
Outsold everything. It was
because of the price, lah.
Because of the price, the price and the spec were very good. And also the X1 came out at the same time.
And the X1 was almost like an X3 inside.
It looked quite big. Yeah. It wasn't big, but it looked big.
Well, for many reasons, we don't know why. The previous X3 didn't sell. GLC took all of the sales volume. Yeah. So BMW, it needs to get its sales back with this model. Yeah. So we are here to look at this current X3. This is the slightly more expensive model. That's the 30i. Yeah.
So for context, Mercedes-Benz brings in the 200 model.
Yeah, and the 250.
And the 250 with 4MATIC.
This is the 250 competitor.
This is the 250, yes.
Yeah. So they call it a 30 lah. Whatever 30s, makes them happy lah. Whatever floats their boat.
Of course, Volvo has the XC60 T5. First impressions, the previous X3 to me just disappeared. I didn't know what to think of it.
Okay.
And when this one came out and I saw the look, and
it looks like the previous one.
It looks like the previous one.
Yeah. I couldn't tell if it's a new model.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like the design language has moved that far forward. The interior to me looks
the same.
Fairly better than a previous Gen 3 Series. It's a bit weird for me lah.
Why?
The 3 Series, you kind of know what to do with it.
Yep.
You have to chuck it around.
Right.
But when I chucked this around, and I did have a lot of fun chucking it around. But when I came to a stop, got out of the car and looked at it, I realized it didn't fit the image of a BMW so much. I think they did the family aspect, the everyday aspect really well. That I just wanted to drive it slow all the time.
And it's quite comfortable.
It's so comfortable. It's comfortable. It's quiet. It's so smooth. You know the B-roll footage of a helicopter or a drone just going through a countryside. Just floating through.
That's a good description.
That's what it feels like when you're just taking this car easy. It feels like you're just gliding through the roads. So
the problem that you have with it is not BMW enough.
Yeah. It feels like the badge can be interchanged with anything. It can be an Audi. It can be a Mercedes.
There is a bit of Audiness now in the feel of the current generation steering feel. Yeah. There is a bit of Audiness there, but in the 530e was a horrible thing. Over here, it's actually not bad. I actually quite like it.
Objectively speaking,
it's excellent.
It's better than almost anything in the segment. I just drove the Q5 earlier this week. The Q5 feels like what this is. The Q5 goes from comfortable to very dynamic. Yeah. And you feel the transition happen. Okay. You know? And when it happens, it unsettles you. You can feel the car transform. Okay. Whereas this one, it's seamless. When it goes from sporty to comfortable, it just feels like the same car. In my mind, I'm very conflicted about the performance. It's starting to tear apart the BMW brand. Okay. Because now the BMW brand just feels like
a Mercedes with a bit of zoom. Yeah. I appreciate what you say. I understand. Yeah. I agree also. Actually,
it feels like a very well benchmarked car. You know, BMW is doing the game where we have to be better.
It's amazing that you put it this way, a well benchmarked car. Let's talk about performance first. Yeah. Fucking awesome. I love it. I spent a few days with the previous generation X5. It is so BMW, but I hated it. The car is so freaking nervous, so bulky. You can feel the momentum and the weight, and you gotta build the momentum on top of that with the old inline 6 3-litre engine. And the fuel consumption is fucking mad. But everything that BMW X5 does bad in the previous model, this one does well. It is comfortable. It handles not nervously. It is not bulky, it is not bumpy. It is so comfortable when you put it into comfort mode. You drive this car every day and it will reward you in the traffic. Oh, yeah, in the traffic jam. Right now. Yeah. And VH, to be honest, is quite amazing because we're in what a storm of the century kind of thing.
We've seen trees falling down.
And we are like, okay, it's raining. I think the only clue that it was quite scary was that the sensor went haywire. The sensor, I'm surrounded.
There's nothing there.
There's nothing there.
There's nothing there.
It's detecting rainwater. And it's so freaking noisy, the only way I can live with it is switch it off. I love it. I love the comfort level. I love what they do to this car. Comfort-wise, they didn't sacrifice it for performance. It is comfortable.
It's like they take everything that Audi does, but they apply their finesse. They're going from a comfortable, slow traffic ride into something more dynamic.
Yeah.
You know you're in the same car.
You're still in the same car, but you just feel this building up of this emotions and anger and when you're in comfort mode, it is still responsive but not shockingly. It is sporty but not nervous, not twitchy. This is how you make a car be a Mercedes-Benz GLC. This is how you make a crossover SUV.
Audi, this is how you tune a mid-size SUV.
It's a bit tacky.
It is.
But when you're in a BMW, you see tacky stuff, you see poor design language. It's not the most important thing. The most important thing is the drive, and the f***ing drive is awesome. It's beautiful. I absolutely love it. Oh, it has all the good things about a BMW and it has lost all the bad things about old BM. Performance, 5 out of 5, man! But I'm not a 100% fan of this car.
Right.
And let's go into the design.
The design is actually, to me, the blandest part.
It's so disappointing. I can't even tell whether it's an X1 or an X3.
In fact, they have to put X3 in the interior just to remind you what car you're in.
I think this is symptomatic of German design school.
I think it's German design school trying to sell in China. And you know that they have a new digital instrument cluster coming in the new models.
Okay.
And this is not it. This is the previous generation instrument cluster.
Okay.
Which to me, I never understood it. Why they put the mascara over the sides, the rims.
Or that little extra bit.
Yeah.
I think it's to make it look 3D. Design-wise, I agree with you by and large. It is so nondescript on the outside. It looks like any other BMW for 18 years. It's uninspiring, that's all I can say. You can say it's good looking, you can say we're in a premium segment. Good looking, not enough.
Good looking is a given.
It's given.
In fact, selling any car today, even in a Myvi, you have to make it look good.
Yeah, but it's a lot of busy little thing with no holistic statement being made. Can't continue to do the same thing BMW. Mercedes-Benz has gone so far beyond.
I want to give it 3 just because it doesn't look ugly. It's just
I give it a 2.5. It's called disappointing. You ought to do more than this. Value. How much is this car?
You want
320.
Yes.
Oh wow.
313 if I'm not mistaken.
Okay lah, about that lah. And 7,000 off lah.
This is 313 and the Mercedes GLC 250 4MATIC with about 20-30 horsepower less is 20,000
more expensive than this. Ooh. That's good value.
Yeah. This is actually very good value.
Very good value actually.
Very good.
I can't afford it, but
they could have packaged this as a 20 model. xDrive30 or even xDrive.
I'm waiting for the X20. But let's say you sell a 250 and then you get a i20 with similar characteristics on low to middle end. The only difference being the very high end. Oh,
it'll be,
and if you give me everything that feels like it, of course I'm pretty sure this screen will be smaller. This will be smaller.
Some of the gimmicks won't be there. But if you can hold out for a lower spec version of this,
if the lower spec version of this delivers 70% of this up until the mid-high end range. Yeah.
Because honestly, when I'm driving this car fast, I don't feel like it's natural.
No.
I feel like no, X3 should be driven a bit slower. And I hope people can look past the whole torquey push of
the sudden power.
Yeah. Because rival cars like a GLC, they put you in the car and say, okay, just whack
it. You feel that.
Then you're brainwashed into thinking, oh, it's super fast and all that. But there's more to a drive than that.
Yes.
And this car does everything
so well. Finesse, man. Yeah. This is a guy who truly knows what a marathon is about. Yeah. He's not rushing the first 100 meters to show off in front of cameras. Yeah. He's taking his time because he knows he will glide through the end winning. Yeah. He will win, man.
And you realize this is the first modern BMW that we tested, which isn't a plug-in hybrid.
Oh, the plug-in hybrids are not great. I have to say it's not great.
The spec is great and the price for the spec is good.
It's good, but it's not great drive. It's not BMW. I wish they fix it one day. I'm pretty sure the engineers at BMW knows this. Yeah, I'm sure they knows this. They're just keeping quiet.
Overall, 4 out of 5 because it is an outstanding car to drive.
Yeah.
It looks a bit bad and value is good. So value and drive really good.
The most important thing about BMW.
Yeah. Autophiles signing out of an X3.
Autophiles, I don't want to sign out. Thank you very much. Bye.
Well, we're out of here.
Oh, let's switch it on again. Let's see. Okay. Oh, wow, wow. Holy shit.
BMW drivers.
Oh. I wasn't out of that. You know what went through my head? How to explain this to BMW.
So this other BMW driver